Hi, welcome back to AT Math. Today, 11.9, solving radical equations. First, take square root of x equals 8. Now, in order to solve for x, what we have to do is first get x by itself, we got to get rid of the root. The way to do that is to square both sides, So we're going to square this side, and we're going to square this side. Therefore, square and square, a root and a square, go ahead and cancel each other, leaving the x, and 8 squared is 64. Therefore, x equals 64. How do you know this? Plug it back in. Does the root of 64 equal 8? And the answer is yes. Notice how there's only one answer, only 64. You can't have a negative because root of negative 64, well, you can't have a root of a negative. Therefore, x just equals 64. Take a look here. 6 equals root of 4x. Step 1, square both sides. We'll square the 6, we'll square all this. So square of 6 is 36, and the square of square root 4x is just 4x because the square root and square cancel. And now to get x by itself, instead of times 4, divide by 4, divide 4 on one side, divide 4 on the other, and you get 9. Now, square root of x plus 3 equals 8, minus 3 to both sides. Square root of x equals 5. Now to find the root of x, square, square. Go ahead, square if you want. Both sides, x equals 25. You try, go ahead. Let's see how you did. Instead of plus 2, we're going to minus 2 here, so you start off with that. Oh, I guess I have to tell you. Minus 2 is going to be square root of x equals 10. Square both sides, and 10 squared does indeed equal 100. And square root of x minus 5 equals 4. Step 1, square, square to both sides. So the square and square root cancel, leaves x minus 5. 4 square is 16. Add 5 to both sides, x equals 21. Now, root of 2x minus 1 plus 4 equals 7. Step 1, instead of plus 4, minus 4. Minus 4 to one side, minus 4 to the other. Square root of 2x minus 1 equals 3. Then, square both sides to get rid of the root. 2x minus 1, and then the square of 3 is going to be 9. Add 1, 2x equals 10. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X equals 5. Now, if you're not sure, go all the way back up to the top. And put a 5 in there. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. Root of 9 is 3. And 3 plus 4 is 7. Now, 3 times square root of x equals 21. Step 1, get rid of the 3. How we get rid of the 3? Divide by 3. Divide 3 on one side, divide 3 on the other. So you get root of x equals 7, then square, square. And root and square of x is going to just become x, and 7 squared is 49. There you have it. Now, this one's a little odd because we have to get root of x first. And how do we do that? Well, right now it's being divided by 3. The opposite of divide by 3 is times 3. Times 3 on one side, times 3 on the other. So we have square root of x equals 15. Square, square, x equals 225. Not sure? Go all the way back to the top and plug it in. Root of 225 is 15. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So you know you're right. This one, square both sides. Square, square. So square over here, so you're going to get x plus 1 equals 3. Minus 1, x equals 2. Again, not sure? Plug it in. 2 plus 1 is 3, and the square root of 3 will equal the square root of 3. And now, same thing here, except this time what we're going to do is we have square root of x plus 8 minus square root of 3x equals 0. Step 1 is we're going to add 3x to both sides. So, okay, I'll add 3x to both sides. Here and here, which cancels this out. So square root of x plus 8 equals square root of 3x. Square, square to both sides. X plus 8 will now equal 3x. And then, to get the x by itself, instead of plus 1x, minus 1x, minus 1x here, minus 1x here, 8 equals 2x, divide by 2, divide by 2, 4 equals x. This one here, square, square. So I get 6 minus x all by itself, and this becomes x squared. Now what do you do here? Well, let's move it all over. Now it doesn't matter which side you move it over, but I like keeping my x squares positive. So add x, so now you get x squared plus 1x equals 6. minus 6, x squared plus 1x minus 6. But are we done? Not yet, because we can actually bust this down into two different binomials. Remember, x plus 3, x minus 2. Why? Because 3 minus 2 is 1, and 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. What's the answer to these? Well, x could be negative 3, or x could be positive 2. Here's why. Because if I make it 0, the whole thing's 0, which makes it equal. If I make this 0, the whole thing's 0, which is fine there. So if x plus 3 equals 0, or if x minus 2 equals 0, well, minus 3, so x can equal negative 3. Instead of minus 2, plus 2 plus 2, x equals 2. And if you look here, you just do the opposite. So instead of plus 3, we're going to minus 3. Instead of minus 2, we're going to plus 2, which is what you have here. But if you plug them in, you can see that they fit. Or do they? Plug in negative 3 here. 6 minus negative 3 is positive 3. 6 plus 3 is 9, root of 9, but root of 9 does not equal negative 3. Uh-oh. Here, I plug in 2, 6 minus 2 is 4, root of 4 is 2, that does equal 2. Which means that because this square root of 9 does not equal negative 3, this does not work, so negative 3 is actually not a real answer. Oh no, you have to actually plug in your answers. Well, yes, you do at this point. You have to plug them in and see if they work. So, you plug in this one, this does work, so 2 is a real answer. Again, how'd you do that? Remember how we got negative 3 and positive 2? Plug them in and see if they work. One does and one doesn't. Finally, geometry application. A rectangle has an area of 52 square feet. Length is 13 feet and its width is the root of x feet. We don't know how far. What's the value of x? What's the width of the rectangle? Huh? Area is length times width, so 13 times the root of x. So times together, 13 root of x equals 52, shown here. How do I find root of x? Divide both sides by 13. Divide 13, divide 13. 52 divided by 13 is 4, and 13 divided by 13 goes away, leaving root of x. What do? Square, square. And you get x equals 16. So obviously, 16 was your x factor there. If you check it, plug it in, you'll see, okay, 52 equals 52. Good to go. And we are done. Thanks. Bye.